Hello, everybody. Welcome. Yeah. We're going to start the show here. A little bit late. We were listening to Cam and Jeff talk with Dean about his game, Untold Destiny. So yeah, we're a little bit late, but hey, that's all right. Let's get the show started, and yeah, we're talking about movies tonight. Let's do it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toplofty Lounge, episode 91. 91, can you believe it? Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome to all my fellow snobs out there in Snobland. I am your host, Science Fiction Snob. This week on the program, it's movie night, our once a month ish show where we look back at some classic, usually science fiction, but sometimes a fantasy movie just to mix it up. A classics movie from way back, this time tonight from the 80s, Outland with Sean Connery. It's a good one. I don't know, we might not have much to talk about because it's actually a good movie, but we'll see. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co host, the man who's on every YouTube program everywhere. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, Snob, you sound a little down, little depressed. Maybe is there anything that
Not,
might be
not
bringing you
really.
down? No,
Not
no,
really. Why?
nothing.
Why would you say that?
Oh, I don't know. It's just maybe because the U.S. just utterly obliterated Canada at their specialty sport of hockey.
What?
Oh yeah,
What did that happen?
men's and women's
What's that
victories
happened?
over the I guess you could call it
Men
nation of Canada.
and women's hockey Olympics, is it?
Ah, yes. Little thing called the Olympics. You might have heard of it.
Olympics. All right. How do you spell that? So, with an O, right?
Mm-hmm.
U.S. beats Canada in overtime. Their
Mm.
first men's hockey gold in 46 years. Well, that's wow.
Hmm. The U.S. really likes dropping communist nations in hockey.
And the women's too. Well, I mean, women's hockey. That's not really a sport. But,
No comment.
well, congratulations, 46 years finally. Yeah, good job.
Yeah,
But we came second, right? So
true.
yeah. So that's pretty good.
So we know where you belong.
I mean, you guys came second in the Vietnam War, and that you're not worried about that, are you? I mean, that wasn't so bad, right? Second's not so
Yeah,
bad.
well, that's true.
Second's not so bad. All right. Well, congratulations, America. First men's hockey victory in 46 years in overtime. Must have been an exciting game. Oh, I see. Oh, there's some fight going on here on the pictures. Yeah, they'll be in Canada. They'll be tomorrow will be the ceremonial gnashing of teeth and the rending of garments. We lost in hockey.
I've seen some pretty
the
funny
suicide
memes.
rate will skyrocket.
Well, and
Yeah,
hey,
it'll be bad. I'll be okay, of course, but
well, you're an Alberta.
I'm not a
right?
big. I like the local team when when the local sports ball team gets close to winning something, then I'll jump on the bandwagon.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Well, 2 years in a row.
Anyway, I was gonna say there's some funny memes that I've seen on this issue.
Was there?
Yeah. Involving that thing you mentioned, but that's not so funny.
Oh, right. We don't want to say the bad.
Yeah, don't want to talk about that. Anyway, let's
probably shouldn't even said that word, right? Probably get us. Yeah. All right. Anyway, who's watching? Oh, it's a quiet night tonight.
Dave.
So far,
Welcome,
Dave
Dave.
is the only one that is letting his presence be known. Welcome, Dave. Good to see you. I'm sure you're going to like this movie. You saw it. I'm sure you enjoy it. But before we talk about the movie, Cam has something else. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, your channel here is becoming one of these classic stories where it's like, oh yeah, you're really going out there, you're trying to do something that other people haven't, and or at least not, commonly not what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is jumping on the
I hate Star Trek.
outrage. Yeah, and more power to them. But and then you're just wallowing in obscurity here with few watchers. Although we love our viewers, Dave, very regular viewer. We much appreciate it.
Yes.
But well, others just start to grow and skyrocket, and you just kind of linger.
Oh well.
Hey, and I'm right there with you, though.
Those of us who sit and wait still serve, right?
I
think I screwed that quote up, but I'll have to look it up. All right. So, Cam, what have you been doing during the week to improve your sci-fi snobbery?
What have I been doing?
And hey, listen, in the chat, Dave, if you want to
let's just say Dave.
Done, yeah, we'll just talk directly to Dave. If you want to put in the chat what you did, go ahead.
I think
tell us what you did. Dave says both of you are great.
Oh, thank you. I think that part of the reason why maybe we don't have any viewers in here right now is because we ran a little long on Bad News Bards because we had excellent guests, Dean and Vicky. Dean, of course, being a somewhat regular guest panelist on the Babylon 5 retrospective, which is on every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, including this upcoming week where we have the episode Severed Dreams, one of the best episodes of not only Babylon 5, but of sci-fi television ever.
Yes, I would.
Have you watched it?
There are some, I've watched it already. Yes.
Okay.
It's been bad for me because I've been watching it like the day after or something. And now I can't remember because I used to watch it Monday and Tuesday. I watch it twice.
All right.
Once to just enjoy it, and then once to take notes and stuff.
All right.
But now I'm watching every episode twice. But now I'm confused because I'm like, wait, which episode? Because I've changed my schedule, so to speak, because I gotta watch it right away because I'm like, I gotta see what's gonna happen next week. So it's starting to get all fuzz up together. I can't remember if it's the episode I did watch or it's a new one or something. What's this one about?
Well, we don't want to spoil it, do we?
No, but just we get the title.
Okay. Well, Severed Dreams.
Severed Dreams, but it's about
last week. Earth had declared martial law across all of it at home and across its various colonies, and now we're going to see. Well, and Night Watch had attempted to take over the station, and through a technicality, they were able to block them from doing that, and now it's going to hit the fan. Yeah, I remember now. There's just so many things I'm watching. I'm watching that Starfleet Academy show too. It's just like, oh my God, it's rotting my brain. It's a pretty good. There'll be some visitors visiting.
yeah. People driving or flying off and yelling at other people of their own race that they haven't been doing stuff they're supposed to do. And yeah, I think it's episode 9 though, right? It's not episode 10.
No, I think it is 10, isn't it?
Is it 10?
Well, since we got time, let's look into it.
Let me just check here. Sorry, last week was episode 9. So this is episode 10. So this is the highest rated episode on IMDb. And then the second highest is the ending, the Zahadum, the final episode of this season. So, season 3, you're really getting the great episodes. And yeah, it's the highest rated one. That's right. Yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it for sure. Lots of it'll be a quick summary because there's lots of pew pew shooting in space, so there's not much for me to say. I just so I don't have to. And there's a space battle. Is blood weeping from my eyes watching Star Trek Starfleet Academy? Yeah, I watched it. It's getting bad. I watched it the other day.
Getting bad?
And yeah, it's just I watched it and I just was like I was only half paying attention. I got to watch it again because I don't remember because it was so I can't imagine. I don't know why anyone would put this episode on.
Well, let's be
say
clear
that it's someone would look at this and go, "This is good." Yes.
I'm
this
not
supposed to be on television.
I'm not watching it. This is made by people that hate Star Trek. There's no other way to get around it. They hate Star Trek.
I think they hate people.
Yeah.
I think they hate storytelling. It's just,
okay.
I shouldn't say that. I think that's true. But I think they actually think they're doing a good job. They think
I don't think so. Misery loves company. This is made by miserable people who are disgusted with themselves and they want everyone else to be miserable. And they're using whatever power they have, that being able to spend millions of dollars on piles of crap. And that's how they get their satisfaction, is by destroying something that other people like and making an absolute mockery of it.
Oh, I got to get the Cam Rant. Where's my Cam Rant picture?
I was in such a good mood on the other show. It was such a delight having Vicky on. And now I'm on this show with a Canadian and it all comes crashing down.
There's nothing wrong with being Canadian.
Well,
there's so I actually don't agree with that. I think they actually think that they are writing a good show. They're like, this is what people want. Let's put this out there. And and it becomes political. Because there's a certain portion of modern Western society that believes a certain thing, and this is good, and that this is the way things are supposed to be. And then there's this other side of society, the right side, which thinks, hey, the way things were and good storytelling is about certain things, and good storytelling has come across over, developed over thousands and thousands of years, and there's a certain reason why we tell stories in this way. But these people don't think, that's old. That doesn't mean anything. This is the right way to do things. We need a lot of different people in the show so that everybody can see themselves. And then blah, blah, blah. And then it's just this, and they don't write good stories. I honestly think they think that they're doing a good job, or they think that this is this is important somehow to tell the story this way, even though it's not a good story. And we survived for thousands of years without, quote, seeing ourselves in every story. We were able to put ourselves in those stories, right? You didn't have to be, blue eyes and red hair in order to see myself in a story. I didn't have to look a person exactly like me. So it's bad storytelling, but they think it's good, I guess, or they think it's okay. I don't know. Weatherman, good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, Weatherman.
So I still don't think it's good, but you could be right, Cam. They could hate everybody.
Well, again,
usually
human psychology isn't all that complex. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
This
it's
is
hard to do something that you.
textbook kind of crap,
Yeah, it's hard to do something that you hate. Really, like I mean, it can be done, but it can be really hard to do. I
I'm
hate
saying
this and do it, and then like I'm gonna stick it to these people by
I'm not okay. There's
spending
two
all my
levels, right?
creative.
These people deep down cannot be happy with themselves to be producing this kind of thing. You know, see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. There's something wrong with anybody who thinks that. Yeah, it's just anyway. Well, this was the same. This is the writer of this is the same person who wrote the other episode, which is the second worst or one of the worst episodes. I don't know. I think the hologram episode was the worst, but then the Klingon one before that was like the second worst. And this one is just boring, and that's probably why I have trouble remembering. It's just super boring, and you're like, there's no stakes, and what's going on? And, but anyway, I have to watch because I have to talk about it on Mad Men's show. But it's just, I mean, episode 6. This is episode 7. Episode 6 was supposed to be the best one. I was like, oh, wasn't very good. And then this one is, it's just gonna be bad. Who knows? All right. Anyway, what have you done other than me watching? What have you done, Cam? I've watched that show. I got a couple other things too that are kind of interesting.
I can't think of anything that I really have done this week.
Nothing you did? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll take up the time then. Of course, my daughter and I we're still trying to go through the Marvel stuff. We pretty much finished, but then I was like, wait a second, we didn't see the second Doctor Strange movie, the Multiverse of Madness, and so we watched that one this week, and I think I am rubbing off on her a little bit. She called it boring. I mean, I didn't think it was a good movie, but I didn't think it was that bad. There was some cool CGI stuff in there, but yeah, she said she was boring. She hinted about turning it off at one point, and there was some reference like the Doctor Strange in the multiverse of mediocrity and the multiverse of boredom, and so we watched that. It's not good. I think there might be one or more movie that we haven't seen. Oh, The Eternals. You hadn't seen The Eternals. I remember that because at the end of the movie, the cutscenes, there's an Eternal reference. One of the Eternals shows up, and she's like, "Who's that?" And I go, "Oh, you didn't see that?" I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna have to watch that. That's pretty bad." We're really at the dregs now. But anyway, I did that. But I did something that was good. That was interesting. So I went last week. And I saw, like Monday or Tuesday, I saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Have you heard of that one?
No.
No? It's, we were talking about, no, I was talking to someone else. Anyway, it's a science fiction movie. Came out. Sam Rockwell is the lead in it. Do you know Sam Rockwell?
Yes.
Well, I'm not the last thing he's been in, but the last thing I remember him in is being the quote red shirt in Galaxy Quest. I don't even have a name. I'm gonna die. So he's the lead. It's pretty good. I think it's worth seeing in theaters. It's not the best science fiction movie ever. It's kind of modern science fiction in that modern. Made for everyone science fiction in that there's a science fiction theme, but it's kind of it's more down to earth and normal situation. I'll just give you the quick background. I don't want to give too much away if you see it, but so Rockwell shows up at the beginning of the movie in a diner. He looks like he's dressed like a homeless person. And he jumps on the table and basically says, "All right, you people, which one of you is going to help me save the world tonight?" And of course, they all look at him like he's crazy. And he goes off about how I've done this 117 times before, and this time, who's going to help me now? This time, we got to get a different group of people. So we got to keep trying. So the premise of the story is that he's trying to save the world. It's from Rogue AI. and he comes to this diner every night, uh, you know, time travel sort of thing, and these people have never seen him, and he takes different combinations of them to try to get this mission, and we're gonna go see one combination of it. That's the premise. Of course, people who are watching think maybe he's crazy, and he does look a little crazy, but he does have some information about them that makes them think that maybe he'd been there before. But yeah, that's the premise of the story. Um, you get to see a little bit of backstory on some of the characters he brings with him, the people that go along with him. So it's a kind of like, there's some humor. It's kind of like a science fiction with Shaun of the Dead type of, it's not zombies, but that kind of feel with a little bit of the humor there. So, it's good enough. It's worth seeing. Definitely, if you don't want to see it in the theater, I would say, see it on DVD when it comes out, or on TV or whatever. But I think it's worth watching. Is it worth spending $15 on? Maybe. Yeah, kind of like Groundhog Day, except that you only see one of the days. We're not seeing the whole. We're not seeing the whole. The various days. We're just seeing one day, pretty much. And he's making comments about like one guy puts his hand up, I'll volunteer, and he goes, not you. You volunteered 29 times so far, and you're just useless. And he tells one guy, I'm not taking you. No. And goes to this one other lady. He's like, what about you? Are you going to come this time? You've come a lot. On these things, you're my most. And look at the sexual tension between us and stuff like that. Of course, the woman just looks at him. And goes, but, yeah, so it's not bad, and it's kind of interesting. Well, I have to wait till I have to talk to somebody who's seen it, but I think there's some hints. It's Gore Verbinski, so I think there's a couple of hints that everything is not exactly what you see, and they don't tell you it at the end. I think the movie, purports to be a certain thing, but I think it's actually something else is going on, and I really can't go into it in any more detail unless you've seen it. But if you've seen it, we'll talk about it. If you see it, Cam, we'll talk about it. But yeah, so that was my sort of big thing. Not bad. Not a bad movie. Got a couple others on the list too, so I have to check out. But yeah, that's one's in theaters right now. You've heard about the Hail Mary one?
Yes.
That's the one people have been talking about. I don't know. That one seems a little too cutesy. The little rock guy for me. I think this one is a little more. This one might be better. That I just good luck, have fun, don't die. But again, it's not a super serious, make you think, science fiction movie. But there's some commentary on, on real world where he's like, "Come on, people, you got to come with me. You got to come with me. You know that the world isn't going very good. This is not right. You have got to help me because it goes to shit very much sooner." So yeah, I think he's got a point too. But anyway, yeah. Seen Chateau review on it. Yeah, I don't know. Is that Chateau as a person? Is that somebody? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Paul Chateau is the guy's name. He's a Canadian, I believe. And he worked.
We don't all know each other, Cam.
Oh, I thought there was only like 8 of you, but anyway, I think he worked in network television in the past, and he does a lot of things from that perspective. And he's a funny guy, does.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
I'll check him out.
Yeah, just look him up on,
yep. What did he say about it, Weatherman? Did you like it? Not like it? It's kind of what's the other one? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, or something like that. I like that one better. I think better, but different movies. But that same kind of grounded. Well, that one was pretty crazy, but yeah. Gore Verbinski is the director, and I think he was trying to, he's having a little fun with it. And he's like, yeah, don't take it too seriously. But I think the ending, I don't think it's exactly what it appears to be. But anyway. Okay. I think that's it for me. I think that's my big thing that I did seeing that movie. I haven't seen a movie in a long time. There's been, garbage on there. I haven't found anything worth paying money for. He was a part of a Misfits comedy group.
Yeah. He's got a good YouTube channel.
Better than this one?
Oh. Yeah, yes.
Quiet, you. Keep it to yourself. All right, let's get into this movie. Do you want to do a quick synopsis?
We burned a half hour.
Holy moly. All right.
Okay, quick synopsis. I'm going to do it off the top of my head. I'm not even going to look at any references here. Okay. So it sets this up, and I might be getting the order a little bit out here, but it basically sets up the scenario, which is that there is a mining operation on Io, moon of Jupiter, doing some kind of ore mining. And we don't know a whole lot about the political situation I forgot if they gave a year also. I didn't see
I don't think they didn't say a year.
Okay. So, but it's, relatively near future kind of thing. Yeah. And there's no indication of, particularly advanced technology. This is kind of somewhat conventional because we know that there's a space station somewhere, not exactly sure where, and it's a once a week kind of thing that happens coming to this station. It's remote. The travel takes a long time. It takes 70 hours for the shuttle to get from wherever the space station is to here. So it might be, I'm not sure, I guess it wouldn't be around Jupiter. Probably it would take. Well, I guess it could be. I guess it could be orbiting Jupiter elsewhere.
Yeah. But also mention that it's a year. Remember that it's a year to get back home from Earth, and they have to go into sleep.
Right. And and they mentioned that it's also a year. So they do the setup and they say, they have basically roughnecks, are working this, it's a industrial thing, a company owns it and they have people come out and mine and everything. And then they mentioned that the law enforcement is handled by the Federal Marshal Service, I think it's called.
Yes.
So, and they have a year of duty tours, I believe.
I think most people have a year of duty. I think they said it's a year of duty.
Miners, everybody. Yeah.
Like they said, a year of duty, but they didn't say specifically for anybody in particular. But it seems like everybody does. But
yeah. So that's where we start out. We actually see the early an early scene is the some workers out. They're working outside on the surface. Doing whatever their normal stuff is. And they're complaining about, this contract or whatever, And one of the guys starts
steward.
Right. Yeah, exactly. These are union guys.
I thought it was good.
And one guy starts absolutely freaking out and like just losing his mind. He's screaming about spiders and things and, going crazy. He eventually damages his suit such as it depressurizes and he, blows up and, just turns into jelly inside of his suit. And I forget the exact order of things here, but it doesn't really matter. Then we see Sean Connery. He is the newly arrived marshal, meaning he's the top law enforcement officer of this station. And right, he wears captain's bars. And they he's here with his family, his wife and somewhat young son.
Maybe 10, 12, something like that.
Yeah, he's when he talks later, he seems very young, like he's more presented like he's 5 or 6 maybe, but he looks a little older. So that just might be part of the script, Anyway, Sean Connery's waking up and they have an apartment, here, and the wife seems very kind of jittery. And he's checking his message. He's got like a communication station, which is of course laughable by today's standards. It's like this very antiquated system where he's getting his email messages essentially. Big screen, printed out, green phosphorus screen and everything. Yeah, the huge.
I love that. I love that aspect of it.
Right.
But it's just incredible how they thought, oh yeah, it's not going to be much. We're not even going to have color.
Right. And so, he gets, various messages and everything. It kind of, and then he talks to has a communication from somebody, live, like a video thing, and they're talking about it. It's like, oh, his wife is asked for some tickets or something, and he's like, oh, what's that about? And she says, oh, it's this or that. Okay, he goes off to work, and then he's and this is where I'm forgetting. I think this is the first thing is he's been here for 2 weeks, which is a little strange because they're having like a meeting with the I guess kind of the administrative staff.
Yeah, yeah. Big wigs.
And yeah, and they mention in this, it's like, oh, this many workers, this many administrators, this many support crew kind of thing, and so on and so forth. And so, they're having this meeting, and he's, someone, they're greeting him and so on and so forth. And he's like, gives kind of a short speech. And then the general manager, played by Peter Doyle, kind of inserts himself in this. He's like, oh yeah, I want to welcome the new marshal and everything. And then he's like, yeah, everybody here works really hard and we're, very successful, and saying, we're on track to be like the number one mining operation in the whole company, et cetera. And, their people are happy. They're getting big bonus checks and everything, but, they like to blow off steam. And he's like, so just let him, and Sean Connery's like, oh, thanks for the advice, and he's like, oh,
take that under advisement.
Right. Yeah. And he's like, stop by my office. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. And then it goes to the very next scene. And him and his sergeant are walking by, and the sergeant is played by, I'm sorry, I don't know his name offhand. But he was the guy that was on Walking Dead. He played Dale on The Walking Dead. He's like an older guy.
Yeah, that's right. James B. Sicking.
Yeah.
He played him older. That's right. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, I recognized him from that, even though again he was much younger. And so he's like, Sean Connery's like, that guy's an a-hole right off the bat. It's like, don't tell me how to do my job, da da da. And the sergeant's like, oh, he's not that bad, kind of, it's okay, whatever. Okay, so they go through this. Then we start getting word of.
I like that. I like that part.
About Sean Connery, like,
yeah, he goes, he's an asshole. He is an asshole. Like, he knows that you're not supposed to, you should.
Right. It's like, you're telling me
you don't tell the cops how to do their job. Like,
right.
Like he's not hired by him, right?
Yeah. So there's kind of some friction there right off bat. And then, okay, wait a minute. Say the space station's outside of Jupiter gravity pull. So, okay. So it's like a central point for a lot of these mine operations, apparently.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, so then, I'm forgetting the exact order, but we see another incident and we see these shady characters like walking around. They show them.
Yeah. I was like, who are these guys? And then
right, they don't really explain it. They just
finally put them together. They're just walking around, and you're just following them, and you're like, well, who's this guy? What's he important? You find out later. I thought that was well done, man.
Yes, it was, and the station is quite large. It's but it's there's just these warrens of catwalks and all this stuff, and they're like barracks are kind of in the middle of everything. It's just like, yeah, here's your bunk.
Yeah, it's a big difference between what the marshal gets. I mean, he's
right. Yeah, he gets a pretty nice apartment.
Yeah, he's relatively, but it's only one. It's like 3 rooms though. I think I saw 2 doors. It's like a bedroom. And I think his kid's bedroom, and then it's got like a kitchen / dining room, and that's it. Like, it's pretty crappy.
Well, he's got like a living room area there, with the couch.
Yeah, but it's just sort of like
it's a space station, But I mean, for that purpose, it's pretty luxurious accommodations,
But it's
compared to these other guys,
but it's still not that great, right? I think
no, it's not like a luxury,
Hold on, before you go on, what did you think of the aesthetic of the whole? The set design and everything.
I thought it was great. It was, it was like, it's like, this is not a hotel. This is a like an oil derrick, kind of thing. It's like, it's kind of dirty, cramped, not particularly clean. It was very industrial.
I thought it was great too. Everything fit together. The sets were awesome. The aesthetic throughout the movie was definitely top notch. Kept with, gave you that feeling of, isolation, remoteness, and a little bit of fear too. I think. It was awesome. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. So he, it's they find out there's another incident where guys they're getting ready to go out. They're filling, hooking up their spacesuits to charge them up with oxygen or whatever. And this other guy, he's just got this kind of weird, detached look on his face. He's just goes over and they're cutting back and forth with this, and the filming is done very effectively.
Yeah.
Um, and so they're doing, and this guy just kind of goes and he opens the lift and he goes in there, and some other guys, he closes the door. You could see him, he's like punching in codes and everything to do this. It's not like he just
key
wanted
card. Yeah.
right. And he goes up in the lift, and these other guys are like, they're like, what are you doing? They like start running over there to try and stop him. And because he's going outside, basically, he's not wearing a spacesuit or anything. He's just like in normal clothes. And they're like, oh my God, what's going on? Well, long story short, he does, it goes up there, boom, he also, dies. Gruesome death. They really liked showing the them exploding in space effect. They've done
Put
that
a little bit extra into that.
Yeah, they they blow up basically. So they go in. And so they get wind of this now. It's like, okay, yeah, there's people dying. So he's like in his the station house or whatever, and they're reporting about it, and they're like, oh, this and they're kind of the other marshals are kind of blowing it off, and he's like, they're like, oh yeah, it had to be a suicide because nobody can just do this. And he's like, is he leaving a note? And they like all kind of look at him like, what? It's like, okay, so this is the first thing you would ask for, right, is if it's a suicide, was there a suicide note? And I just realized now we've mentioned that several times. We're probably going to get dinged by.
All right, who cares? Let's go.
Okay,
press on.
So he's suspicious, right? What's going on. And then again, we're cutting back and forth, and we're seeing these other shady characters, going around.
Okay, well, let's talk about the cops.
Okay, sure.
Let's talk about so what's your impression of that scene when it happens with the cops and they're all like, he's like, did he leave a note? He's like, no, I don't think so. What's your impression of the police force on Io?
They're kind of slacks, they're not, they're kind of following the directive that the general manager seems to want.
They don't seem to care too much about what's going on, as long as it's it's solved. Oh, must have been a suicide. All right, no point in digging any more into it or anything like that, right? Like that's the whole. It's the kind of the dregs. They're not the top cops that they're sending over there. Like I mean, they all seem like just they're sitting back in their desks and they're just all like, yeah, a couple fights and blah blah. Very much routine. That was my impression. I think that's important for later on. They're not the top people of. This is the back. This is the back of the group here. Oh, look! All right, Death Angel Shadow just popped in. Zardoff, it was super awesome. 10 out of 10. That's not the movie. It's thanks for the super chat, Jeff. But it's Outland. We did Outland. We'll do Zardoff eventually. I mean, it'll get there. But Jeff, we should get Jeff on to talk about Zardoff. No, we won't do that. All right. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I think they're showing everything when they're talking. Like they're like, that's an important scene. I think like giving you the background of these.
Yeah, absolutely. It was because again, he was just, he was clearly like, what, what are you talking about? So it's good. It's good you pointed that out. There's a clear contrast between him and, the rest of these guys, right?
They just they don't give a crap anymore about, they're just there punching their ticket, but I mean, it clearly was a suicide, right? Like, I mean, he can't I don't blame the cop. He's like, I mean, the guy knows not to go in the elevator without his suit on. He did, and he closed the door. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, I think Weatherman's got it right there. The cops are there just for the quota and either take or not want to do their job. Yeah. Like this is like the crappy end of the solar system and nobody wants to be there. Yeah. Okay. Now you can really go ahead.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember the order of this, but Okay, so let's jump to the other part of it.
The order doesn't matter. We'll just go do whatever you want. And then
okay, so he
we'll get there.
Finds that his wife has left on the shuttle. She's taken the kid and left. This is the tickets that she was referring to. Apparently she's gone, she's already gone. And he gets this message. He's taken aback by this. She explains why, that, she's like, we've been going between these assignments and that their kid has never been to Earth. Right. And that he deserves to live a normal life where he can do things like go outside and so on and so forth.
The grass and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the scene that they had earlier, it's like, Sean Connery clearly cares about his kid, so it's not like one of those things. It's just like, yeah, this is the job. And he clearly wasn't keying in on it like his wife was. And, but this is a big blow to him, right? This is, basically he's lost his family here, at least temporarily. But she mentioned, she's like, well, we've got passage booked back to Earth. And she wants him to come,
So she's not leaving him.
Right. She's not trying to leave him. She's like, I'm going back to Earth. It's, so, that there's a scene with, the sergeant and him, he's kind of moping around his apartment. The sergeant comes in with a bunch of food. He's like, you got to eat, man, cause clearly the small station, he's heard about this, I guess.
Everybody's heard about
it. And so, he goes off on, his wife left him and So, they're empathizing and it's like, he seems like a good guy. And then they get, a little bit later, they get a call and, then Sean Connery, he's not eating, so he's just like, kind of stunned by the whole thing. But he's sitting around and he gets a call. There's basically a crime, in progress. So he like grabs a shotgun, out of a rack and runs down there. Right. Yeah. There's basically one of the workers has a prostitute, which they mentioned, prostitution is legal here. I guess legal even, it's happening openly. And, this guy is freaking out and he's got this prostitute, he's already beat her up and he's got a knife and he's going to kill her or whatever. So Sean Connery's trying to talk him down. From outside, they got a worker there, who can, override the door and open it and everything. They got, there's a big response here, a number of, and it's handled rather professionally. I think, it's like they're not Keystone Cops at this point, they're kind of like on the ball. And the sergeant,
him and the sergeant, at least,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, but there's others there too.
Yeah, they're all kind of set. They're letting him set he's the captain,
right?
He's the boss. They're following his lead, but yeah.
And the sergeant goes up. He's like, he sends him up into the air ducts. He's like, get up there because basically, if this guy's going to try and kill her, you got to take him out.
They don't even talk about it. They just kind of know what to do, right? Like he goes over, where's the air duct, and he goes over to it. Like he's done, even though he's only been there 2 weeks, he's done this before. Like he knows what these stations are like. He's like, there's got to be an air duct somewhere, and then he just sort of looks at the sergeant. And the sergeant starts going through, like they don't even, it's only 2 weeks, but they kind of read each other already. Like I was like, oh, interesting.
Yes. Anyway, so he's trying to talk about, and they got the door ready to open. Long story short, again, he busts in, the guy's freaking out. He turns kind of on the sergeant and he blows him away. He just shoots him. And then, everybody else comes in, they kind of look at him like, what did you do? And he's like, he had a knife, so it's like, okay.
Was that a good shoot or not a good shoot? Your thoughts?
I think it might've been a little quick. It's like, he basically saw, he said, he's like, I saw the knife. I don't think the guy came at him.
The guy turned because he jumped down from the ceiling.
Right.
And
so
it
seemed a little quick on the trigger, maybe, but
I mean,
literally,
there's a reason for that. I think.
Yes. And the reason you can kind of see that is everybody was looking at him sideways, like what?
Yeah.
But
there's a reason why he did it, though.
I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. So, well, why don't you take over for a minute?
Yeah. Hey, Q2, good to see you. So I'll take over from there. So I mean, there's already is he already a little suspicious yet or not?
It seems like he is. Again, with the meeting with them about the suicide thing, he seemed, maybe not suspicious specifically, but like, he's not confident in them at a minimum.
Right. So the guy is so the guy gets shot. He's dead. They rush the girl to the hospital, and we meet the doctor there, who is played by what's her name? Played by Frances Sternhagen. I've seen her before, but I never knew her name. What do you think about her? Dr. Marion Lazarus, her name.
She was played very well. She's like she's like someone who is not at the top of her game, and she knows it. She's like,
she's this doctor who's
it's like, I'm here for a reason. It's like, and she's very irascible. The first scene you see with her is actually arguing with like a nurse or something. It's like, I told you to order 100 of these things, and
not 1,000,
1,000, and she's like 100,000 different words. I mean, very argumentative.
The nurse is like, you'd be tempted to punch her. You said 1,000, bitch. I know what you said. I'm not stupid. She's I thought she was great in this. And just as a little bit of a side note, this movie was nominated for 6 Saturn Awards, and they didn't win any except for the one she won. She won one. She got an award for this from like a Saturn Award for her portrayal of the doctor. She did. And I thought she was great. When I saw her, I'm like, oh, awesome. Great character, right? Did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they rush her, and you get the whole sense that nobody cares, and she kind of gives them a hard time about these patients, bringing them in like this, and will she live? And he asks her, and she's like, well, if you leave me alone to do my job, she will. Like this kind of back and forth. So great character. But I think the key thing is that he kind of gives her the gears, and eventually he starts asking about these. He finds out at this point, the bodies, and basically they ship the bodies off as fast as possible and get them off.
Right.
No autopsy, no nothing.
Well, but she also points out there's nothing really to perform an autopsy on.
Yeah, this is O'Neill's Connery's his suspicions are raised, right? Like you're getting these guys out of here. He's like, wait a second, why so quick? What's the big hurry? Like you can almost see the gears in his mind turning. Like this is suspicious, right? So he eventually asks her, and I'm jumping a little bit maybe ahead. Eventually asks her and says, I want you to find out how many people, suicided in the last 6 months. How many of these type of incidents did we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, do you want to go straight to that, or
no? Go ahead. You go. Keep going.
Okay, so eventually she comes back to him and says, he asks, he does a little bit more digging around and stuff, and he's a little bit with his family leaving them. He now has a bit of a purpose, and he doesn't have to think about them anymore, and you can sort of see that he's really digging into this issue, and he wants to, find out what's going on, especially after the doctor tells him. She says, you know how many people in the last 6 months, died under these kind of circumstances, suicides. It's like 26 or something like that, and then the 6 months before that, it's like 28. And then the 6 months before that, it was 2, right? So, so now he's like really suspicious. He's like, in the last year, the rate of this happening is, gone from 2 to 20 in the high 20s. Like he's like, something's going on, right? He's now super suspicious. So he sneaks in and goes to the shuttle area, kind of breaks in. I mean, he's got the key cards and stuff, and takes a sample of blood from the guy who was just shot. Then he calls her up at like dark 30 sometime. He answers the phone. He's like, hey, meet me at the at the medical bay right now. She's like, do you know what time it is? He goes, yes. And then, so he shows up, they analyze the blood, and they find out that there is some sort of drug.
Yeah, I thought that was a great line. Do you know what time it is? Yeah. It's like,
it is a great line.
I do.
I know. Yeah, it's a perfect line. Yeah, and it just gives so much of his character in one word. You know what time it is? Yes. And they find out what was the name of the drug? I don't think it's a real drug, but they call it. Someone was asking, "Is this a real drug?" I can't remember the name. P something E, whatever. Anyway,
meth.
It's basically meth. Because so what it is, it makes them able to work. You work. You can. Instead of working 4 hours, you can work like 12. And with the fact that the shepherd, the guy who's in charge of the station, is talking about how we're increasing our efficiency, and yet there's a couple guys at the very beginning of the movie talking about how they're running this shift with less guys than it's supposed to. I think he said minimum 8 people, and he's only got 7, and all this stuff. It's there's obviously something going on, and it seems pretty obvious that maybe these drugs are have something to do with it. And after she analyzes, she says, yeah, it's like meth, it'll get you going, but after about 11 months on that stuff, you're gonna go psychotic. It fries your brain, is what she says, which is interesting, because it's a year-long tour, right? For most of them, it seems like. So 10, 11 months, perfect timing, right? Yeah. So now he figures that there's a drug problem. Okay, you take
right. Okay. So, well, did you mention he went and got a sample from the whole point was now there's a guy who's freaking out here that is intact, so he's able to take a sample from him. Okay. Anyway, so they find this out. Okay, so I'm trying to remember. So we see these other goons, going around still. This is scattered out through, and I'm trying to remember how he makes the connection.
I'll take that. I remember.
Okay.
So he goes. So he's like, okay, drugs has got to be coming in. Standard police type stuff. There's got to be coming in somehow. And then he goes to. He does a query on the computer. Right. This is not like any computer. He just types in a question and gets his answers. But anyway, he says, how many people on the station have criminal records? How many of them are drug offenses? And he gets it down from like 12 down to 2. 2 are known for drug offenses. And he says, of those 2, hired those 2. And it's Shepard, the guy who's in charge of the entire station, personally hired these 2 guys, right? Which we don't know about this, but there's got to be HR and all that stuff. So we got to figure that something like this has got to be completely suspicious, right? So and of course these are the 2 guys. He gets pictures of them. He's like, send a picture. I want to see what they look like. And of course they're the 2 guys that we've been following along on different times during the we didn't know who they were. One of them works in mining, I think, and the other one was in operations. Leisure. So these are the 2 guys who are bringing in, who are his, who are dealing with the drugs and bringing them in. I thought it was well, put together how he, the basic police work, how he found it, figure this out. And now that he's got these 2 guys, he starts watching them. But does he do something before that? Is this when he confronts?
No. He eventually sees. He is doing this kind of observation of things, and he's using the camera system in the station to be surveilling people, basically. And one of the places he's surveilling is they have a club, where a very busy club where people are drinking and carousing, so on and so forth. And he's he clearly has his eye on the general manager, though. And so he's watching him, and he sees his sergeant meeting with this guy at the club. Clearly, it doesn't seem like it's just casual interaction. So then this is when I think this is what we're going to talk about. It goes to the next day, presumably.
No, the two guys show up at that time too.
Which two guys?
The two guys.
Right. The two
he's
sketchy guys.
The sergeant is sitting down with Shepard, and they're talking. And like I said, it's not some casual thing there. And then these two guys show up, and they just sort of sit down. There's a little bit of words, and then they leave. Right. So it's obvious, they're getting orders or whatever.
Right. So the next day they're playing racquetball because again, this is the early '80s when racquetball was the whole thing, right? Meaning Sean Connery and the sergeant. And so they're playing, and Sean Connery just comes. He's like, "How deep are you in?" And the sergeant guy, he's just like, "Not too deep." It's like there was no BSing, nothing. It was just like it was just cut to the chase.
He knows it's
right. And the guy's not stupid. He's not insulting him. It's just like he's like he says I get paid to look the other way.
Yeah, and this happens a lot in these places, eh?
Well, it happens a lot everywhere.
Yeah, and north of us, so we've got the big the mines that we got the big Suncor and the oil sands, and there's this is like that area up there, same type of thing. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. No, it's just a Coke. Could be a beer though.
So and he's like, "Hey, I'm going after." He basically says he's going after. Hey, PB. Going and Memento Mori. Going after. I forget what his name is. What's the general man? Shepard. And
take him down.
Right, and he's like, the sergeant's like, "That's a bad idea. You have no idea how connected these are. It's not going to work." And
this guy's an up and comer in the company,
right?
Making
and
moves.
Sean Connery's like, I don't care. He's just like, you better stay out of my way, and it's like, the guy's like, okay, it's kind of like, we have our understanding here, and, so, he continues to kind of surveil. Then they have this big chase. Am I forgetting anything before they get to this?
Well, no, he's starting to. Yeah, does he confront? No, he doesn't. When does I always forget when he confronts Shepard?
I think it's after the first.
After the chase.
Yeah, he's surveilling this guy. I don't remember
he's starting
exactly.
To follow one of the guys.
Yeah, one of these two sketchy guys. And so he's chasing him down. And there's other times we see guys like shooting up with this stuff. It's like a red liquid.
Yeah.
And so and we see like there's clearly like drops going on where they're like distributing the drugs or whatever, something like that. The locker rooms and all these.
He's walking through these lockers and he's side talking to people like real short and then leaving, like an exchange and stuff.
Right, and so at this point we understand it's the whole situation is clear. It's like these guys are taking these drugs because it's boosting productivity, which is padding the money, it's this whole thing. But then
and the manager's in on it because he wants to.
Right, exactly.
He's using this to improve efficiency.
Right, and Sean Connery even said, because the guy was kind of like, "Why didn't you just turn, just turn the other way?" And he's like, "People are dying." Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, I can't. So
and Sean Connery's not a young man. And he's been doing these. It's obvious from the movie that he's been going to these crappy mining type places for his, career for 10, 20 years. Why wouldn't he just turn the other way? Like he must know that this is what happens at these places, right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Before, I think the two guys, I didn't recognize them, but looking at the IMDb page, the two drug dealers, you know who they are? John Ratzenberger is one of them.
Oh, really? I did not recognize.
He's the guy with the hair, I think, like the guy who doesn't die as fast. And Steve Burkhoff is the other guy, Sagan, I think. Steve Burkhoff. He plays like villains all the time. Um, what did he play? Like, I'm looking at his picture. I'm like, oh, that's him. Who was he on? Beverly Hills. Oh, Beverly Hills Cop. Victor Maitland. You remember that? Victor, he plays Victor
I don't
Maitland.
remember that.
Octopussy, Clockwork Orange. Yeah, he's a great villain. No, you don't. Beverly Hills Cop. He was the main villain in Beverly Hills Cop. No, yeah, he's great. But obviously a little younger there, and I didn't recognize him. He looked a little different. But yeah, these two guys. Anyway,
Okay,
John Ratzenberger, Tarlov. He's the guy. Yeah.
so
anyway, so they have he's following Sagan.
yeah, so they get into this big chase, where and they're going all around, through all these catwalks and again, which are up and down, and they're jumping between all these things, and Sean Connery's chasing them around, and it kind of starts without any particular reason, but anyway, it goes on for some.
Well, he's following him, and the guy makes him.
Yeah, right.
So then he takes off,
which is
And Connery's like, I'm going to grab him and get him with the stuff because he's got the stuff. He's dishing it out. I want to catch him.
Mm-hmm. So there's big chasing, and it ends up they basically are like in the galley of like the mess hall or whatever, and the guy like dumps the drugs in like a boiling pot of something, soup or something, and Sean Connery like sticks his hand in there and like grabs it, because and he's like because it's boiling water. But that's the he saw him dump the evidence, so he had to, and then so they got this big fight. The guy cuts him, with a kitchen knife or whatever, and he captures the guy.
Yeah, he loses the shotgun.
Right.
Their fight.
Yeah, good fight. It's all good action. Everything.
Well done scene, I thought. Nice and dirty.
Yeah,
and
very brutal. Not like not doing the spin kicks like.
No spin kicks. It's all streetwise cop versus low life criminal.
So he captures them, and basically then you see the guys captured, and their prison cells are essentially they're floating like in spacesuits, like in 0G. They're like isolation cells, and so the SART
okay, but hold on. Now, did he do that on is that normal? I thought that was a cell.
Well, there was a bunch of them though,
and they would just put him in the cell.
Yeah,
right?
But there was a ton. I mean, there's a whole line of these things.
Yeah, there was a line of them, but he put him in the suit specifically to try to get him to talk.
I got the impression that was just how they held him.
I don't know why they would have to do that. I'm not sure one way or the other. Might be sort of the torture sort of thing. Hey, I'm gonna, it's a little bit of the whole isolation thing. There's no air in the cell, and
purpose built, for that to be the case. It seems like this was just. That was how I took it. At least this is just how it is, because it's pretty limiting. You can't really do much. But anyway, so the sergeant's there or whatever, and so he's kind of interrogating the guys. Basically tells him to F off, and they're he's not talking, and he tells the sergeant, he's like, nobody sees this guy, nobody talks to this guy, and the sergeant's like, okay, and then I think this is when he goes and talks, basically confronts Shepard. And he walks in there, it's kind of like whatever. And, Shepard's a big golf fan. So he's like putting and, stuff. And he basically just like, how much you want, and he's like, I'm not playing ball with you, essentially. This kind of, again, right out, everything laid out on the table. No dicking around.
Yeah, there's no
deception. It's just,
Shepard basically says, is this your little plan to get more money than normal? Right, you're gonna try to be a hard ass. How much do you want?
And obviously, he's used to them people being on the take, right? Nobody has opposed him, and it's like, okay, well, good luck with that, And they kind of leave. I don't remember. Did he tell him he got the one guy? I think he might have said, did he capture?
He says, I got him, and
you're going down.
You're screwed, basically. I'm gonna nail you.
Right. And
I know that you're in, even though he doesn't really have any evidence,
right? And
unless he gets it from
which he thinks he is. He thinks he's gonna be able to get it from him. And so then I don't remember if there's another interaction with the doctor or whatever, but kind of I guess we're going through the whole thing here. But so he goes and he finds the sergeant. Am I skipping anything here? Anything major? I don't think so. He finds the sergeant dead, hung, or strangled.
No,
Okay,
you got.
what did
I think
what
you
did I
got it the
skip?
wrong way. He goes off somewhere, comes back, and he finds his suspect dead
Oh, right,
first.
right, right.
And then he's like, "What the hell?" And he
Yeah,
runs
to find the
off,
sergeant,
and he runs to go to the
and
sergeant to talk to the sergeant or to
he's
find
stuffed
him.
in his locker,
And
basically, or closet, and yeah,
he's
he
dead.
falls out, but strangulated with a wire or something, dead.
Yeah. Now, so okay, so do you think the sergeant murdered, or did he commit suicide?
I think he was murdered. It's like that would be kind of an elaborate um well, I don't think Sean Connery thought it was anything but murder. Whether it was designed to look like intentional, meaning self deletion or not, I don't know. But it was clear it was a murder, though. To me,
You
it
think
was.
so? Because it looked like a way that it might, because he's like he's in his locker, and you'd have to sort of lean
Okay,
forward and
but
stuff.
he
Like
was
it
stuffed
seemed a
in the
little.
locker, though. If he was, what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
it wouldn't have
that's
strangulated
true.
him if he was in the locker still.
And he was the door
Right,
was
right.
closed. Yeah, I was now the only thing is that right after that he gets a message, right? But see, why would they kill the sergeant? You know,
Well, okay.
like he was going along with it. He wasn't stopping anything, as far as we know. Okay, but well, I think this is kind of the interesting part. I wasn't so sure, but so right after this, when he goes back to his quarters, he has a message, and it's encrypted, and it's only three
I thought this
words.
was after. Well, okay, go ahead. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter which it is, but
Yeah, it's not right after necessarily right after, but it's after he's the
yes.
sergeant
Okay,
dead.
I'm sorry. I thought you were
He
saying it
gets
was
the
before.
encrypted.
Yeah, it's after, right?
Yeah, no, it's after, and he gets encrypted message. And do you know what the
I don't
message
remember the
was?
exact wording, but it was basically check food supply or something like that.
Yeah, it was food shipment, Monton, which is his name.
Oh,
So
right.
just
Yeah,
three
that was
words.
him signing it basically from him.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So he does give him, where this was going on. But did I mean, they murdered him after that. Did they know he sent him the message? It was encrypted. They shouldn't have known. But I mean, he wasn't doing anything to stop him, but he also wasn't really helping him either. And who I thought maybe the sergeant might have killed well, it's unlikely he would have killed the prisoner, but I guess the other guy, Tarlov, I guess did it maybe. Um, so, yeah, it seems it was a little bit of a question there. I mean, you kind of felt it wasn't. I kind of felt that the sergeant maybe was feeling a little guilty, a little bit, embarrassed that he wasn't a good cop, like Connery was showing, but it wasn't really pressed very hard. So maybe it was a murder. I think it was just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, it was a message to Weatherman says, "What killing him was a message to the marshal, trying to scare him and anyone else from helping him." That's a good point. Uh,
Well,
hey,
okay,
everybody!
okay. Wait a
Hey,
minute though.
Shadow. That could be it. That's a good.
It seems like that, but I want to suggest that why wouldn't they just kill the marshal then? If they had the capacity, it's like he's the problem. The sergeant really isn't the problem. It's like, why would you send a
Yeah.
message instead of just doing it?
Well, yeah. The mess. Well, I mean, see, it would be a lot easier if the marshal's family hadn't left. Then they could threaten them there. But it's kind of lucky for him that his family leaves, so he's got nobody, right? He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't have to care. Um, uh, but yeah, that's a good point. Like, why would they kill him? Like, he's going along. So that's why I kind of thought, oh, did he? I mean, he obviously sent the message, so he was feeling some guilt. He did help him out a little bit, but how would they know that? It's a little bit. It's not really. It's not really stated, right? Like, it leaves it open, which is nice that they're not giving you everything. And
Yeah, yeah.
we don't have a scene where Shepard goes, "Yeah, I killed the sergeant," because like telling us everything.
Yeah, sure. But
Let
well,
me
maybe
tell you my
maybe it
evil
was
plan.
though, because it's like, hey, this guy was playing ball and you're not playing ball. Maybe they're sending a message to someone else. It's like the rest of you that are playing ball better understand that if you stop playing ball, you're going to end up like this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
clearly it's a message of some sort. I would not debate that, I guess, but
Yeah. A good
yeah,
point.
that is a good point. Shadow.
A new marshal would show up. Plus, now you've got a dead marshal, and everyone is like,
Well,
"Oh,
you had a dead marshal one way or the other,
now
though.
it's a big deal."
Just not the
Well,
chief
maybe
marshal.
the sergeant wouldn't matter
Yeah.
much. You think it
Well,
would,
I
it
guess
would
if you
matter,
could
maybe.
intimidate Sean Connery, then he would cover this up, right? So yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
Suffice to say, he goes to follow this lead, right? He goes to the food shipment.
But okay, well, hold on. But do you think he was feeling guilty or not? Because he did send him the message and tell him give him the lead. Right?
Do I think the sergeant
So
was?
do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what
he
I
was.
think.
I
The
think he was a
sergeant.
little bit like, yeah, because he was helping him. I mean, there was no indication that he betrayed him. After that.
Yeah, yeah, and my guilty, like, oh, you might, the self deletion might be, because he felt a little guilty, but I mean, I don't think that's a very strong. I think it's more likely that somebody killed him, but it is put where the way he's tied up and stuff. It could have been a way to try to do it yourself, but this place would have very, like, if people are going, I got to go at the airlock, right? Like, it's obviously other ways that would be easier, but they probably take those away. But I think it leaves it kind of open, so anyway, okay, go on. I just wanted to mention that.
So he goes to chase down, to this lead. So he goes to, it's basically a meat locker, and so he's got a jacket on at this point. Usually he was wearing like a jumpsuit and a shirt or whatever, so he's got a jacket, knowing he was going to go here, I guess. And he like zips up and goes in there, gets attacked. He gets, someone tries to garrote him, chokes him out.
Yeah, Cliff.
Right, yeah. And I didn't recognize him, oddly enough.
No, I didn't recognize him either during the. He looked very different.
Yeah. So, they take. So he takes him, chokes him out.
He has a
right.
garrote.
So he, the guy kills him. So we think, and the guy goes into this side of beef and starts pulling stuff out. Sean Connery jumps up, knocks him out, and then he, he pulls this thing off his. He had something
collar,
around his neck.
It's probably a medical one, like a medical.
Yeah,
or something.
That, would, because he expected this. Seeing what happened to the sergeant, I guess. So then he pulls out all of these like ribbons of these drugs. Quite a lot of it.
Yeah. Now, I think it's important because now remember when they got the first guy, when they get Sagan, and he puts him in the thing, he's talking to him and he says no, sorry, he does this when he talks to Shepard, I think. He said, this little bag that you had, that's like 400 doses there, and that's enough to put you away for a long time, and blah blah blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when he takes out the stuff out of the side of beef, it's a ribbon, and it's got 12 of those little bags that we saw all attached together, and he pulls out like 5 of them or something, right?
5 ribbons, you're saying? Yeah, at least. It was a lot. I would say it was more than that.
So that bag is one part of the ribbon, and there's like each ribbon had about 8 or 12 bags on it, and then he pulls out 5 of those. So like he's going like, this is, one bag has 400 doses, that's a lot, blah blah blah, and then he pulls out astronomically higher amount of that when he pulls it at the side of the beef, and we're just like going, holy moly, that's a lot of drugs.
Right.
Okay.
So he does that, and then he goes to he basically confronts Shepard again, and he says, yeah, I destroyed all the drugs. Basically he flushed them down the toilet or whatever. And the guy's like, you have no idea how much money you just, and he's like, yeah, I don't. It's like, I don't care. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna, again, kind of, I'm gonna take you down. And this whole exchange, and the guy's just like, okay, you're making a big mistake. And then he's leaving. He's like, you're dead. I mean, flat out says it.
Shepard doesn't sugarcoat it anymore. You're dead. You're dead meat. And okay, but you got to mention that Connery before this, he puts a tap on the guy's phone.
Right.
His communications.
Well, was it before that or right after this?
I'm assuming it was before, because you want to do it before the guy. It doesn't matter anyway. Basically around this time. I'm not sure. Either before or right after. He puts a cap on, and he finds out what.
Well, the guy is basically he you hear the communication. Shepard, it basically calls to the station, not sure who he's talking to, and he's basically like, "I need you to send 2 guys, to kill him."
Your best men.
Send 2 guys, and the guy's like, "Okay, you're screwing this up," but he's like, "Don't worry about it. We take this guy out, everything goes back to normal." It's so, and so he's like, "Okay," and he's like, "You said put him on the next shuttle." And then now the timer starts here. It's like 70 hours,
Yeah, but no, he also says if you screw this up, you'll be next too, right? So it's obvious that Shepard, the head of the mine guy, is dealing with some sort of, mafia type underworld crime boss, big guy, where, they're all making a lot of money, but he's gonna be, if he screws this up, he's gonna be in trouble. They're not. They don't work for him, so to speak.
Right. So the guy's, he's like, yeah. This will be fine. Now, at this point, Sean Connery, at some point in here, Sean Connery actually talks to his wife and son. You want to talk about that?
No,
okay.
You go ahead.
So basically, you get more of the story here, because the other one was a recording, and the wife is kind of, she's like, something's wrong. She says there's something wrong. And he's like, he's not telling her what it is, but she's like, just come with us. He's like, I can't, and then he talks to his son, and, his son's like, oh, you should come with us. And they talk about, it's this year trip back, and they basically go into a hypersleep or whatever, suspended animation, they're asleep for a year, when they go back, and he's like, I can't, leave. And then at some point in here, he has a discussion with the doctor again, where, the doctor again kind of puts it on the table. It's like, this is not where, they send the best of the best, or whatever. And that's where you kind of see a little bit more of his motivation. It's like, Sean Connery kind of lays, again, there's no jacking around in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, that's right. And now this is kind of set in front of it. It's like, I now have to prove that am I this kind of guy that's going to stand by and let this happen? Or not?
I want to prove it to myself.
Yeah, it's basically, that's the level that it's at now. He can't just simply walk away from it and live with it, So,
and then let's get drunk.
Right, yeah, right. She's like, let's get drunk. That's her regular go-to, apparently. Okay, so this countdown's happening, 70 hours, you see it's 60 hours, whatever. And he's, trying to prepare for this, and things are just.
Yeah, he's doing little sneaky things, hiding,
right. Now,
playing with some controls,
right, and the cameras,
shotguns in places.
Now, the other thing that we didn't mention here is, so the corporal, who was there, he's been promoted to the sergeant, because the sergeant's dead. And he's, at first, he's not wearing his sergeant stripes. He's like, you're the sergeant now, get those stripes on.
Ballard.
Right? Yeah. And so he's like, okay. And then at some point, while this is going on, he calls him into his office. He's like, how many of these guys can I count on? And he's kind of like, he's kind of like shrugs. It's like, nobody, basically. And he's like, yeah,
because we found out that the Shepard has basically let it be known that there's 2 professional hitmen coming to kill Connery. So everybody's going to stay out of the way. No one's going to help him, because these are, 2, as you said, professional hitmen, and nobody wants to, take the risk, be in the way. So, yeah. So he says I think he said, I'll let it be known, or somehow. I think it was when he was copying he says, don't worry. When Shepard is talking to his mafia connection, he goes, don't worry, I'll let it be known on the down low, and nobody will help him. So yeah,
right.
and of course, Shepard or Connery hears that.
Right. So again, he's on his own, and this countdown is happening. Again. So now we're kind of getting to everything's coming to a head, and then suddenly it's like the shuttle arrives early. It's like 3 hours early or something like that. So it's like, so he's running, and so the way that he doesn't know who these guys are, and there's a lot of people on the shuttle, so they're all filing off, and and everybody's kind of like, the whole place has gotten kind of quiet because everybody knows something's going down. Did he have the scene at the mess hall again here?
Yeah, no, at the mess, the officers' mess hall with
right.
all
like the administrative.
He goes in there. Before that, he goes, I'm gonna need about this time. He goes, I could use some help, right? And they all look at him, and then the one guy says, you're supposed to protect us. Where are your men? And he says, my men are shit.
Yeah, just flat out, right. And
my men are shit.
And so, again, emphasizing
everybody in this place is shit.
And he's on his own, right? His only ally is a drunk doctor. And so, everybody's arriving, and he's watching them. He's got cameras set here, and everybody's basically going. Looks like they're going to wherever their workstation is going to be or something. They're here for their tour, and these two guys, like, kind of in the hall, they just like one guy kind of stops and waits, and the other guy comes in, and they just unpack their weapons and start assembling them, and they're just going like openly through the station now, trying to find them and kill them.
Yeah, they got a bag, and they just take out their guns and put them together.
Right.
Yeah. Why didn't they even bother having them in pieces, man? Just anything to declare, sir? Nope. Just this bag of random machine parts that I carry around with me. Those kind of look like a gun that's been disassembled. Oh no, it's just machine parts. You can imagine that. But I thought it was very interesting. Like, everybody is gone out of the station. Like, during this ongoing battle scene, which we're about to talk about, there's nobody there except how it's cutting every once in a while to the bar. The bar is packed, right? Like, everybody's in the bar, waiting this out. Everybody knows that the marshal's going to be, that someone's been brought in to kill the marshal, and they're all like basically hiding out of the way until it's over with. Like, this is like a normal thing almost.
Yes. Right. Okay. So why don't you talk about all the action scenes and how he's fighting them and everything? My voice is getting wrecked.
It goes back and forth. I mean, there was a little bit of I'm just going to touch on a few things. So there's a little bit of that this is when the doctor, we don't know the doctor's going to help him. She's been nice to him, but here she says, first we see she's in the marshal's office. Well, somebody's in the marshal's office looking at the monitor, and we're like, we don't know who that is. Like, you just see a shot of the side of their leg or something, and I'm like, oh, the bad guys are in his office, and they're checking out the monitors. It's gonna they're gonna find out where he is. But we find out that's actually her, and she bumps into him. He almost gets shot or something, and she he asks her for some help, close off these doors, make them go into this certain area, which he and he's like, I'm going outside. So he puts a suit on and goes outside. So, and he's sort of set this thing up so it can explode. So the guy gets in the corridor. One of the doors is already closed. She closes the door behind him. And then he, I guess he's pre-set up the thing it can be quickly damaged or easily, sorted out. And it basically sabotages this corridor. And, explosive decompression. The guy, blows up. He is no more. And so the marshal's out. So, I mean, first, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. First, there's a bit of a battle back and forth there. They're hiding. People are shooting at each other. Shotgun blasts are going off. The marshal gets hit in the arm. It's not a bad little fight scene. But then he's like, he decides to go outside, puts on the suit. The doc ties him up first for his wound. And he goes outside. So the first guy gets it that way. And then these guys, they're just sort of wandering around aimlessly. And at this point, she's back in the doctor's back in the after the first guy gets it, she goes back and thinking the marshal's office, and then Ballard, his new sergeant, shows up, and she's like, he goes, where's the marshal? He goes, oh, he's outside somewhere. And as soon as she said, where's the marshal? I'm like, uh-oh. I'm a little suspicious. And she goes, oh, he's outside somewhere. I don't know, maybe by the greenhouse, and which is where the other guy happens to be.
Right. Who's apparently not very smart.
So
basically, Sean Connery,
he's not very
tricks him into trying to shoot. I don't know what he was thinking, but basically decompresses the place.
He goes on top of the thing, pulls out some little panel, drops it, and the guy shoots at it, puts a hole in the thing, and kills himself. Now, hold on though. Wouldn't everybody on the station die? I mean, this greenhouse is huge. It must be making air for everybody. Are they going to get air after this?
Well,
sucks all the plants.
I mean, they might have different areas of it or something, but yeah, obviously significant damage. Right?
Pretty big. Yeah. Anyway, So these guys, these best men aren't very intelligent.
They're murderers. They're not.
I shouldn't shoot out the windows, right? This is the guy who'd be shooting in the plane. Let me shoot the windows out in this plane at 30,000 feet. I'm sure everything will be fine. So he kills himself. And of course, what happens next?
I
knew it. I knew this was going to happen.
The new sergeant shows up outside and also tries to kill him
with a shotgun, trying to kill Connery.
Right. So, long story short, he gets the best of him. The sergeant dies also, and then.
Yeah. What did you think of this fight? He pulls out his air hose, but what did you think of this fight scene?
I thought it was pretty good.
I liked it too. It's two guys in bulky spacesuits, and they're just flailing at each other, trying to grab each other and trying not to fall off this platform. And, and it's just really awkward. And I'm like, this seems realistic and, natural, right? Like Connery, hides up top and the guy comes down and he jumps on top of him and they're wrestling around trying to pull each other's hoses. It's very clumsy and messy. And I'm like, that's exactly how it should be. So I liked it. All right, you want to finish it off?
Then Sean Connery comes in and confronts Shepard, going to,
and he's bleeding,
he's
hobbling. He looks like he's almost gonna fall over.
And then he was gonna arrest him. Then he just punches him out.
And then what?
And he leaves.
Packs his clothes and leaves to be with his wife and family. Happy ending. All right. And of course, the doc's going to stay, though. She says she wants to see what happens afterwards, the aftermath.
Right.
It's going to be a mess. She's very gleeful about it. Yep, they might be good killers, but they haven't done it in space, I guess. Or they don't know about greenhouses. Okay, so this movie is basically High Noon in space. Correct? Yep. Now, my understanding, I'm reading a little bit here. Apparently, the guy who made the film, Peter Hyamans, he wanted to do a Western. And, nobody does Westerns anymore. People hate Westerns. You can't do Westerns. Nobody will, make your movie. So he's like, all right, well, I'll just do a Western in space. Yeah, and actually he said something like, how come nobody's making Westerns anymore anyway? Westerns are really good. We've had them forever. They're good shows. And he goes, oh, they're all making them in space. It's just, they just changed it to science fiction Western. So yeah, it's basically High Noon in space, the countdown, everything. The box office, we used to do this at the beginning, but so release date, 22nd of May, 1981, 109 minutes. The budget was estimated about 14 million estimated. There's a couple of different numbers. It was supposedly set for 12 million, but they went over a little bit and it was 14 million total. It made about 3 million and something on its first weekend. But its total was about between 17 to 20 million overall. So it made a little money. So that's good. What else? Did I miss anything?
Well, interestingly enough, the same director was the director of 2010, another space movie, sequel to 2001.
Yeah, he did 2010 too. All right. Yeah, here. Hyman recalls, I want to do a Western. Everybody said you can't do Western. Westerns are dead. Nobody does Westerns. I remember thinking it was weird that this genre was endured for so long, was just gone. Then I woke up and came to the conclusion, obviously after other people. But in outer space, I want to make a film about the frontier. No wonder, not the wonder or the glamour of it. Something about Dodge City and how hard life was. I wrote it, and Connery wanted to do it, so I did it. I shopped it around, and Alan Ladd Jr. took it up. The same last movie we were talking about him with the Apocalypse movie, and how he took money away from that. Alan Ladd Jr. took money from that to give to Star Wars. Filmed at Pinewood Studios in the UK, same place as Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so I was curious about the sets, which we talked about here again. This, extensive catwalks and everything. I guess it could have been some kind of industrial area, but it didn't seem like any that.
I think they're all made.
It was significant. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. So, Cam, do you know what Introvision is?
Introvision, no. Yes.
It sounds like something out of Willy Wonka. But anyway, it's funny because during this time, there's, this time before CGI and stuff, everyone's inventing their own little ways. Remember, we talked about this with the other space, with Bob and the space movie there with Maximilian,
Black Hole,
the robot. Black Hole, yeah. It's like every movie they're doing in the late 70s to early 90s, they're all inventing trying to get different ways to do, these special shots and stuff. And anyway, so this is the first movie to use Introvision, which is a variation on a front projector that allows foreground, midground, and background elements to be combined in the camera, as opposed to using optical process like blue screen matting. This enables characters to convincingly walk around miniature sets of the mining colony. So that's why they did it. Now, the director is Stephen Goldblatt, and he was a little bit pissed about this. He was hired only because of union requirements, because Hyman's always wanted to do the job himself, the shooting of the film, and he wanted to make, if this whole Introvision stuff didn't work, he could then blame Goldblatt if it didn't work out. So that's supposedly what happened. So the director hired the cinematographer, didn't really use him as a cinematographer. So Goldblatt was pissed about that, but he said, he'd only, it was early in his career, he'd only had one feature film to his credit at the time. He felt that if he quit, then he would have, he would have damaged his career, might not get another job. So he was mainly put involved in charge of the shots involving the Introvision and the miniature effects. He said it was a good learning experience doing all this stuff, but it was not a happy one. So, it's interesting, some of this, the background stuff. Yeah, so that's what first time they used that. But, what did you feel about the shots? I felt they would look pretty good, like when the outdoor stuff, outside when he's moving around on the catwalks.
I think it's pretty good, and I think it holds up pretty well today, even.
I think it holds up very well. Yeah, it's got that gritty aliens type feel, like the internal shots, at least, when the guys at the very beginning, when they're talking and they're complaining about the shop steward and all that stuff, like it's got that dirty, dark kind of feel. Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah. Just see if I missed anything. No, I think that's the main things I wanted to mention. A good movie overall. It's funny to watch these movies, and like this would have been in the '80s like a mediocre movie. Like the reviews were mixed. Probably around a 50. Like Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 59%. Metacritic 48 out of 100. So it's kind of like basically your average 4 or 5 out of 10. But this is a good movie. Like, I mean, it shows the quality of movies back then, where this movie, which, is a lot better than some of the crap we get now, is getting an average, like a 6. Oh, this is an average movie. It's like the average back then is, the quality is way higher than, what would you consider average or good now. Like, I think if this movie came out now, people would, dressed up, but the exact same movie, but just with better effects, modern effects, you would get, 8s, 9s, 8, way above average, as opposed to just, sort of barely making it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, 3 million in the first weekend box office receipts. It did well in Los Angeles and the New York East Side, but played poorly in the smaller cities. I'm surprised about that, because that's what they're saying in the box office. But you'd think it would, people would like it. Yeah, it's a cool little space movie. You think the people in the smaller cities would like something that was basically High Noon in space. Down to the. Oh well.
So what do you think?
Yeah. What else? Yeah, it's a good movie. I recommend it to watch it anyone. Still holds up. Not specific, groundbreaking. It's just a good basic story. It's science fiction, but it's kind of, it's secondary to the story, right? Like the story could be set in, a Western or some other town, but that doesn't make it, doesn't make it bad. It's still good. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong. Tarlo is John Ratzenberger, but he's the guy at the beginning who sees spiders.
Oh, okay.
And he dies, I think. Yeah, Tarlo sees the spiders, and then that's what. And Sagan is the guy. Oh, I'm wrong. Sagan is the guy who takes the prostitute hostage. That's what's his name? Steve Burkhoff, who plays Beverly Hills Cop Victor Maitland and stuff like that. So they aren't the two thugs, but they do have significant. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's good. Holds up. Watch it. I mean, if you didn't. Oh, Weatherman's got to go. My brother's asking. I'm sitting in the dark in his living room.
Well, say hi to your brother.
Later. Yeah, tell him you're watching the show. Yeah. Yeah, so good. I would, I recommend this to anybody. A good basic movie, science fiction. Yeah. I wish we could get stuff like this to see normally. Why can't we get any good movies anymore? Yeah. So Spoda is the one of the thugs. Mark Boyle. Yeah. All right. 4K is great, available now. You can get it in 4K. Oh yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say about the movie, Cam?
No, I really liked it. I had seen this movie before, and it's probably been since late '80s or something like that when I first saw it. And I don't remember it. I remember it being okay, but I don't remember really loving it. But watching it here, it's like, man, this really stands out. I mean, I really can't find much to criticize about it, other than of course some of the out of
Um,
date technology and things like that. That's understandable though.
yeah, but that's not. Yeah, I don't. It's a product of its time. I don't. I never. Give shit for that. Like I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know, um, that's what It's the way. It's interesting to look back as to what they thought.
Mhm.
It might be like. Um, if you watch the movie closely, O'Neill's on his name on his shirt. I don't think you could. Oh, no, you can't really see it. O'Neill on his shirt changes during the movie. It's Oneil and Niel. It changes depending on. There's a little bit of a, it's one of the little mistakes that you can see in the movie. They spell his name wrong, spell it differently. But other than that, yeah, it's you don't want to nitpick on that, but yeah, it's a good movie, worth watching. Uh, I'd recommend it to anyone. It's yeah, excellent. Let me answer there's a couple of questions I missed at the beginning. Dave asked, "Did I see any?" When I went to see the movie, I saw "Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die." Any decent upcoming previews? No, I did not. Uh, I it hasn't been that long since I've been to a theater, but it's been months. Heck, the whole, how Cam they used to have, they used to try to entertain you in your theater. Answer these trivia questions, bring out your phone and do this baloney and stuff, right? So I never bothered paying attention to that. But guess what it was now?
What?
All commercials, everything, nothing but commercials. So I went with my buddy. We didn't even bother. I don't even bother paying attention. We're just talking before the movie, um, catching up. Yeah, all commercials. I didn't see any previews that stuck out to me. Nothing good. And then Weatherman also said, the guy about Good Luck, Have Fun. He liked it, but he didn't say it was the best. Yeah, that's kind of what my feeling of the movie Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. It was good. I liked it. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. Is it worth your time watching? Yeah, sure. Is it worth, 15, $20 to see it in the theater? Maybe. Um, if you see it, I don't think you'd be disappointed, but yeah, I would say see it, but see it sometime, even if you wait for your library to get it, borrow it for free. I would still say see it, but yeah, see it. And that's why Zardoz was so great. No, I didn't watch Zardoz. I think Jeff liked Zardoz, though. What did you think of this movie, Jeff? What did you think of Outland? Was it good? Did you watch it? No, you just watch Zardoz. All right, you can't go off doing whatever you want and not following the script. Jeez, crazy. Yeah. All right. I think I passed on. Got all the information. Like I said, it was kind of ho hum. 5, 6 out of 10 average rating at the time it came out. Some of these critics are just. This guy says that Connery was a perfect Marshal. Other guys didn't like it. Well, this is pretty good. Good movie, not just for science fiction fans. Success will undoubtedly inspire a few tired, low-grade imitations. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's good, solid film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you see it? Were you planning on checking it out, but did you change your mind about going out that night? Oh, about the movie. Good luck. Yeah, if those of you who are coming late, I saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die last week. Um, and what's free on YouTube this month? Outland is free or
It was
something
free
else.
on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. Well, not for us in Canada land. I had to go dig into the deeper bowels of the internet to find it. But yeah, it's free on YouTube for Americans. With the links in the thing for U.S. people. Yeah, you go see it. All right. You miss anything? Are you first? What are you fiercely
Nothing.
taping? Okay. All right. Okay, that's it. What? Anything else about the movie before we end off the show?
No.
Good movie. If you didn't see it, go see it. Follow the link. Oh, he was talking about good luck, have fun, don't die, not woke. No, it's not woke. It's just a good movie. Uh, I guess I'll go over it again, real quick. Yeah, the movie starts off right off the bat. Yeah, it starts off in a diner. Crazy looking guy. He looks like a homeless. Comes in, starts walking on the tables and telling everybody, "Who's gonna help me save the world?" Blah blah blah, save the world. And they all just look at him like he's a homeless nutbag. But he's got this thing strapped around his chest, which kind of looks like a bomb. So he's got a something that looks like a detonator in his hand with a big red button on it, and he carries it around everywhere. So he's kind of so they're kind of a little bit. And he starts talking to him and says, "I've been here 117 times. I know that the some combination of the people in this diner can save the world. Who's with me?" And he proceeds to go and say things that make you think that maybe he's telling the truth, because he says, you always try to help, but he calls one guy useless, etc. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie. Good movie. Not the best movie ever, but good fun. You can see it. It's not heavy on the science fiction elements. It's a bit of a, not time travel, but Groundhog Day, but you only see one of the takes of it. But yeah, you can take the wife and the non-sci-fi lovers to see it. It's good fun, kind of like a little bit like Shaun of the Dead, with the comedy. The funny things happen. That kind of level of comedy to it. Yeah. Okay. Jokes are last. All right. Okay, I'm gonna jump into the Discord right afterwards. We're done. I'm gonna hang out there for a little bit. Cam, what's coming up? What's going on?
Well, as we mentioned at the start of the show, Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, we have Babylon 5 Season 3 Episode 10,
10?
Severed Dreams, which is widely accepted to be one of the best of the season for sure, and of the series, ranked very highly as such. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, very true. Yeah, that's it. And next week on this show, we don't know what we're doing yet, but we should talk about our next. What about our next movie night? Who should we put up against? What should we put up against what? Maybe Zardov should take a backseat for a week, a month, eh? What about? Let me throw some of these one out there, Cam. See what you think. Capricorn 1, Rollerball.
Capricorn 1 would be a cool one.
Westworld. Forbidden World is another Corman. The Dark Crystal.
I see, you've mentioned that several times. It doesn't seem sci-fi to me. Oh,
Well, it's more in the fantasy realm, but
we didn't talk about whether this is really sci-fi or not. It's certainly a somewhat futuristic setting, but I think,
yeah,
in short, the story really isn't dependent on that. It's not. I would say no. It's only has one element that I could think of.
Yeah, the setting. I mean, it's it's a universal story. You could say it's high noon in space, but I mean, you know, it's light on the like I said, it's primarily the setting is the science fiction aspect of it, and though the various people die in sci-fi ways in a sense, blowing out the greenhouse and yeah, it's not. I mean, that's not the key part of it. It's yeah, it's not about it's about the Marshall and his storyline. It's not specifically there's nothing the classic some sort of morality about that's put into the future so that we can look back at it without getting caught up in our own political crap right now. So yeah, it's very most people would classify it as science fiction because of the setting, but that's the only real aspect that makes it that it has towards science fiction. Yeah. All right. So, any of those movies jump out at you? Which two should we put together?
Capricorn 1. My vote.
Capricorn 1 versus. We gotta have something versus something. All right. Capricorn 1. I'll figure something out. Versus something. All the promos are coming out now. Death Angel Shadow's putting out there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be on Madman Cafe on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern talking about Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Oh, I have to watch. I watched it once. I got to watch it again because I can't remember what happens. It was so bad. Oh, When Worlds Collide. I think that is a cool one. And, Madman's been giving me a couple of other suggestions here that I've got written down, which, are possibly 5 million years to Earth. Some of these might be good. Yeah. All right. Earth versus flying saucers. That might be. I'll have to look into them. Maybe I'll just pick my own. But I'll put two up and we'll fight. They'll fight it out for which one we're going to see. Okay. And next week on the show, who knows what happens? We'll have to see. Okay. I think I got everything right, Cam.
Yes.
That's it for the show. Yeah. We're almost 2 hours. That's pretty long. Okay, so that's it for the show, everybody. We'll see you next week. Oh, wait a sec. I forgot about the jokes. Oh, thanks, Jeff, for reminding me. Jokes. All right. These are all Sean Connery jokes.
Oh, okay.
Related. What time does Sean Connery get to the U.S. Open?
I don't know. What time does Sean Connery get to the U.S. Open?
Tennis.
Hilarious.
10-ish. Tennis. Right. U.S. Open. What did Sean Connery say to a couple of lobsters he saw take up an extra parking space?
Say that again.
What did Sean Connery say to a couple of lobsters he saw taking up an extra parking space?
I don't know. I can't even repeat that. I don't know what.
You're too shellfish.
Okay, good one.
Get it? You're too shellfish? Selfish? Mm-hmm. Right. Why was Sean Connery accused of piracy while drinking tea?
Why was Sean Connery accused of piracy while drinking tea?
Because he took our ship.
I'm not going to repeat that.
Sip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get it.
Sip, ship.
Mm-hmm.
They're all related to his. They're all related to his accent. I'm Sean Connery. Oh, there was a good one about. Did you know that? Did you know that Alex Trebek? Why did Alex Trebek die right after Sean Connery?
Oh, I don't know. Why did Alex Trebek die after Sean Connery?
He had to get Alex had to get to heaven before Sean, so he could protect his mother.
Okay.
You don't get that one. That's related to the SNL skit where Sean Connery is always bothering Alice Trebek on Jeopardy and saying stuff about his mother. Yeah. All right. That was kind of funny. Okay, that's it for the show, everybody. Thanks again. Tune in for Babylon 5. Going to be a great episode. I mean, lots of stuff happening. The line is going to be drawn here, no further. I think I haven't seen past this one, but I'm assuming it's the big thing. It's going to take us down the path, right? Is that right, Cam? You've seen it.
Yeah.
But after this, it's going to be, yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll find out next week, but we'll find out this week about this episode. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Good night, everybody. See you on Wednesday.
Good night.
Thanks for watching the show. Good night, everybody. I'm Sean Connery.